So good morning, my name is Robin Short and I'll be teaching a 20-minute yoga flow class today. The theme of the class is reach, balance, breathe, and twist. And we will do some poses that incorporate twists and lots of reaching and kind of stretching out. We all live very sedentary lifestyles, just kind of sitting on the couch, looking down at our phones. So these are good poses just to kind of reverse some of those motions and bring some motion into the body. What I want you to be aware of with this practice today is if I offer any poses to you and they are not comfortable, that you want to make sure your body is comfortable at all times. So if you feel like you need to sit down for a second, if you want to come with your legs crossed, if you want to lay straight down, if you want to go into child's pose, those poses are all open and welcome to you. And then feel free if you have any props that you brought with you, or if you have anything that you want a jacket or something, that if you feel like you need a prop to make a pose more comfortable, definitely do so. Sometimes people will use like a towel or a blanket or even an old textbook that they might have laying around, so definitely remember that. And then we'll begin today by warming up the body before we go into poses. So as you can see, we're already in our cross-leg position, and this is how we'll start out. If you feel like your legs are too far in and you need to bring them out some, if that's comfortable to you, you can do that. If you need your legs extended out, that's fine also. So we'll start with some deep breathing just to kind of relax ourselves. And I want you to be aware throughout this whole thing that breathing is very important. Sometimes I'll remember to remind you, but just make sure that you're breathing, because that's the most important thing, just for cleansing the body. So we'll start with 5 deep breaths. So you want to have the breath come through your nose, through your lungs to your belly, and then back out your nose. So we'll go ahead and start with our breathing. So 1, just definitely make sure you continue breathing throughout this. We're going to go and start with some neck circles. So you just want to kind of take your forehead and just make a line around the ceiling with it, and just go in slow circles. Make sure you keep breathing here. And now we'll take it in our neck circles in the opposite direction. So just kind of remember to make a line or a circle across the sky with your forehead. Good. So now we'll move into some shoulder rolls, and this is just basically taking our shoulders up our ears towards the back of the room, down and forward. Just kind of warm up the shoulder muscles. And then we'll move our shoulders in the opposite direction, so bringing them down towards the mat, back towards the back of the room, up towards our ears, and down again. Just kind of warm up the shoulders here. And the next thing we're going to do is just kind of get some movement into our arms. So we'll take our hands kind of down next to the ground, and they're going to go to the top of our head. So we'll go up. And your palms will come together at the top, or they'll face each other at the top, and then you'll kind of take your palms out and bring them back down. So just a nice way to warm up the shoulders and the arms. And you can go at your own flow here, but just make sure you keep breathing with it. So palms up, facing each other, they don't have to touch, and then bring them back down. And then our last palm up, we're going to do some wrist circles. So you'll bring your palms up, and just kind of roll out the wrist here. You can go at your own flow, but just make sure you really get some motion into them. Just warm up the wrist, because we'll use, the wrist will be very important for some poses that we'll do. Good, so we'll take our arms back down to our sides. And we're going to go into a spinal twist here. So we'll twist the left side first. So we want to take our right palm and take it to our left kneecap. And our right hand, our palm, we're going to take to the back of the mat. And here, make sure you're inhaling and exhaling, and we just want to look over our left shoulder. Okay, so now we're going to bring both hands up into the air, and we will bring our left palm to our right knee, right palm to the back of the mat. And same, just kind of look over your right shoulder here. Nice deep breathing. Okay, bring our arms back up, and then just back down to our kneecaps. And then we're going to do what we call the seated cat-cow. So this is the first way that we'll do it. We're in kind of the neutral position here. Our forehead and our chest are going to kind of go up. And then our forehead and our chest are going to go back in. So we'll bring our chin to our chest here. And we'll do the same thing. Forehead and chest come up. Nice deep breath here. And on the exhale, bring your chin back to your chest. So we'll do an inhale as we bring our chest and forehead up. And exhale as we move back. Excellent. Hopefully you're starting to feel some movement into the body here. And we're going to make our way to what we call tabletop. So we'll be on our knees and our palms, our hands. So you can just kind of move into that position. What we'll do is we want to make sure our hips and our knees are in line, and that our shoulders and our wrists are in line. So this keeps us in a good position here. And what we're going to do is we will take our right foot. So our right foot is going to come between our palms, and we're going to move into some of our lunge work. So you want to go ahead and lift your knee and bring your foot up forward. And if you feel like you need to kind of use your hand to bring it up, you can do that. That definitely works. And then we'll, here also making sure your knee and your ankle are in line. You don't want your knee to be in front of your toes or like towards the middle of your foot, so just want to make this as straight as possible. And what we're going to do is just come up, and our hands will be in prayer across our chest. And we'll do a nice breath here. And we're going to do another twist. And this twist, we're going to take our left elbow and take it to the outside of our right thigh. And once you get here, you want to just look over your right shoulder, over your right elbow, whatever's comfortable for you. This is a nice twist. It kind of works on your balance also. Okay, we'll come back to center with our hands still in prayer. And what we're going to do is take our left palm, and it will go on the side of our right foot. So we'll bring that down. And what we're going to do is extend our arm up. And just make sure you don't let your right knee go flaring out to the side. You want to kind of try to keep it in towards the middle as much as you can. And just take a look at your hand if it feels good, or your elbow. Nice. Okay, and we're going to drop our right hand now. It'll come to the side of our right foot. And we are going to kind of take our weight back to the left side. And our right foot, we are going to bring our toes up, and we'll be resting on our heels. And just take a nice deep breath here. Good. Now you can bring your right foot back down to the ground. And we will take our right knee back in line with our left knee. And just kind of give our knees a break for a second. We'll come back into child's pose. So this is where we're going to take our bottom to kind of rest back on our heels. So I want to go ahead and move into that position. And here, if it's comfortable, your forehead can go down to the ground. You might have to adjust your legs if it's not totally comfortable for you. But just nice deep breath here. And then we'll come back up into all fours into our tabletop position. And this time we're going to do the same sequence, but our left foot is going to come forward. So what we'll do is just lift our left foot, and it's going to come between our palms. And if you need to help your foot along, you can with your hand. And we're going to do the the same thing, make sure everything's in line, your ankle and knee are in line, and then we're going to bring our hands up into prayer. And we'll go into our twist. So this time our right elbow is going to come to the outside of our left thigh, and we will look over our left shoulder, left elbow, whichever feels good for you. And this time we'll bring our right palm down to the side of our left foot, and we're going to extend up again. And like if it's comfortable, you can look up at your hand, your elbow, or if you need to look down, that's fine too. But just make sure you don't have your left knee flaring out to the side. You want to keep it in as much as possible. Okay, so we'll bring our left hand back down to frame our foot, and then we'll bring our weight back into our right knee. And we'll lift up our left toes. I'm just going into half splits here. And this feels really good in the calf area. Okay, we'll go ahead and plant that foot back down. Bring our hands forward. And then we'll bring our knees back in line with each other. And we'll go also into tabletop or into, downward dog. We'll move into child's pose. So we want to take our weight back to our bottom ear, or bottom back to our heels area. And just rest again and take a deep breath. Okay, so we'll come back into tabletop. Okay, so here from the tabletop, we're going to move into downward dog. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll change our toe position. So our toes will be touching the mat. The undersides of our toes will be touching the mat, and we're going to lift our bottoms up into the air, and we'll come into our first downward facing dog. So you can go ahead and lift up. And if you want to pedal out the knees a little here, you can, just to wake up the legs a little bit more. And then we're going to go into what we call three-legged dog. So we are going to lift our right leg up into the air, and want to just make sure we don't put too much, we don't want to drop all of our weight into our left side, so just kind of try to keep balance as much as possible. So we'll lift up our right foot, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring it forward, and if you feel like you need to kind of help it along with your hand, you can do so. We'll go ahead and let's bring our right foot in between our feet, or our right foot in between our hands. And here we want our foot to make our left foot will make a 45-degree angle with the back of the mat, and it can be flat. And we're going to go ahead and come upright. So we'll lift up, and we'll go into our first standing pose, which is warrior one. So here again, you want to make sure that your right ankle is in line with your right knee, and you don't want your knee going in front of your feet, so you want to be able to see your toes. And also we want to make sure that we are keeping our hips in line, so if you need to kind of pull back your right hip some, you can. If you need to fix your feet position, if your left foot doesn't feel right, you can definitely do that. And we'll bring our arms up. So our palms are facing each other, but not necessarily touching each other. And we're going to move into our warrior two. So our right hand is going to come to the front of the room, and our left hand will go to the back of the room. And we want our right palm up, and just look over your middle finger. Just take some nice deep breaths here. Good. And then we're going to go into exalted warrior. So here we will take our left fingers, and it'll touch the back of our left leg, and we'll bring our palm up. And we'll kind of just take a look at it. And nice deep breaths here. Feel really good. And now we're going to move into extended side angles. So we will take our right forearm area, and this will come to our right thigh area. And then we'll bring our hand. So our palm now should just be facing the front of the room. And we're not going to just move it up like this, but we're going to kind of twist our palm so it's facing the right side of the room. And this is a nice extended side angle, and you can move a little deeper into it if you need. But just make sure your knees are not passing your toes. Good. So we'll go ahead and bring ourselves up. So we'll bring our left hand back and just kind of straighten our bodies back up. And we'll move our right foot back in line with our left. Good. Don't move. Okay, so we'll go ahead and bring our, so now we are in mountain. Just take a nice deep breath here. And we'll extend our arms up and we'll go into a forward fold. So our palms are gonna come down to the mat, or just bring them down if you can't totally touch the mat. And we will walk our hands forward. You can kind of bend your knees if you need here. And then we're gonna straighten out into a plank. If this is comfortable, and then what we'll do is you can just drop your knees down. The tops of your feet can touch the mat, and we'll just lower ourselves down slowly. Just make sure you don't let your elbows go off the sides of the mat. Just try to keep it close in line in your body. And we'll come down and just lift your head and your chest up. We'll do a cobra here, which is a really good stretch. And we'll lower back down. Good. And from here, we're gonna come back up into our plank pose. So come up if you can, and then we'll come back into our downward dog. So our body goes up towards the sky. A nice deep breath here. And we will go into our three-legged dog, and this time the left side, our left foot will go into the air. You want to just make sure you don't dump all your weight to the right side, but just try to keep everything strong. Lift your left foot up, and just as before, it's going to come between our hands, or as far forward as you can, and then you can just kind of help along if you need it. And our right foot, you want to go ahead and take the side of your foot, and it'll be at a 45-degree angle at the back of the mat, and you kind of inch your feet, your left foot forward if you need. And we're going to go ahead and bring our bodies up, and just make sure your knee and your ankle are in line. And if you need to bring your right foot up some, you can, just to make this more comfortable. And then just make sure your hips are in line. So if you want to kind of bring your left hip back some, that'll help that position. And you want to lift your arms up. Good. Nice deep breath here. We're going to open up into Warrior Two. So our left hand will come to the front of the room. Our right hand will extend back. And you want your arms to be as level as possible. And here we can have our palm flip down. Good. And then we're going to take our left forearm area. It's going to come to our left thigh. And our arm of support will come up. We want our palm, it'll face the left side of the room. So right now your palm is probably facing the front of the room. So just bring it around. So the palm is facing the left side of the room. If you need to sink a little deeper into this posture here, you can. Good. And just make sure you keep deep breathing through your nose. Now we're going to just straighten ourselves back up. So you can just bring your right hand back, left hand can come down, and then just bring your legs back in line with each other. Good. And we're here mountain for just a second. We'll extend our arms up. Good. And then we'll bring it down to our sides. And we'll come into a forward fold here. And we'll just work ourselves down to the ground. So if you want to just lower your bottom down to the ground, that would be good. And we'll just come on the mat so our feet are towards the front of the mat. So we just have two quick poses here to do on the ground before we move into our resting portion of the practice today. So first we will just lower ourselves back flat on the mat. And we'll move into cobra pose. So here we want our left and our right, the soles of our feet to touch each other. So you can just kind of bring those two up to meet each other. And your hands can just rest at your sides. And here you can bring it as close in as you need, or if you need a little bit more space with it, that works too. But this is just a nice posture, just to kind of relax everything. And stretch out, open up the hips. And now we'll extend our legs straight out. And we'll bring our knees, they'll be together. together basically. We're gonna bring them in towards our chest. And you can just kind of hug them in. And then we'll bring our knees back so they're in line with our bottom. And then what we're gonna do is a twist, so we'll be stacking both legs. So what we're gonna do is take both legs to stack together to the left side. So you can just move them over slowly. And we want our hands to be in what we call cactus pose. So we'll bring our arms up. So we're kind of making goalposts or goalposts with it. And now we want to look over our right shoulder. And just do a nice deep breath here. Okay, so now we'll come out of our twist. We want to just bring our knees still stacked together to the center. And we're going to drop them down to the right side. So go ahead and take your knees to the right side of the mat. Our arms stay in the same position. And we'll just look over our left shoulder. Take a nice deep breath here. And we'll just bring our knees back up to center. We can extend our legs back out. And our arms, we can just take one big stretch before we move into our resting posture. So our arms can extend straight up overhead and just do a nice reach and extend your toes and just reach. Good. So now we'll just kind of relax and bring our arms back down to our sides. And our feet will just relax. If your feet kind of fall over to the sides, that's totally fine. We'll be in this posture for 2 minutes. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. If you don't feel comfortable with having your eyes closed, you can just soften your gaze, or you can just keep your eyes open, whichever feels comfortable for you. But I just want you to do some nice deep breathing here and just relax to conclude our practice for today. Okay, so you can go ahead and start to bring some movement back into the body. If you want to just kind of wiggle your fingers, twist out your wrist, or kind of move your feet around, you can definitely do that. And then what I'll have you do is take your right forearm to the side, and your left palm will come to the side of the mat, and just, bring your body onto, or bring yourself onto your body, and just work yourself up into seated. If you want to be cross-legged or legs straight out, that's up to you. I do want to thank you for practicing with me today. Hopefully everything felt really good to your body, and if you had any positions that weren't as comfortable, if you have any questions at the end, I can help you out with those. But I just want to remind you to let your light shine on and off the mat, and to have a great day, and namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.